Hello and welcome to another episode of the Femininja Project, and thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I have a wonderful and fantastic guest with me today. His name is Sylvain Mancuso. He is an entrepreneur, osteopath, doctor of physical medicine, founder and owner of Mancuso Clinic, which offers a variety of disciplines dedicated to improving both mental and physical health by encouraging positive lifestyle changes. Pardon my voice. The Mancuso Clinic redefines health by integrating physical, emotional, nutritional, and lifestyle elements into a singular holistic wellness model. Their approach transcends short-term solutions, providing enduring and lasting tools for continued health and happiness. Sylvain, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Cheryl, for inviting me to come to the show.
I absolutely love your approach to healing, to health and wellness, because it is holistic. And I would like for you to share with the listeners how you started in traditional physiotherapy and how you transcended or transitioned into what you're doing now.
I begin as a physical therapist. If I can say before, I was always mind-blown by the fact that everything works together. You know, I had the ability to play a team game like rugby or thing like that, and was impressed by the ability of everyone working together. And I began to do my physiotherapy study in France. Do my study and all that. And one of my first patients was a patient with sciatica pain. And I was just new to the field and opened my book at sciatica pain in physiotherapy, and I tried everything to help her, but with no long-term results. And I was a little bit frustrated, doesn't know what to do. And I was lucky that in the clinic where I was working, I had a physical therapist doing his osteopathy study at the same time. Mm-hmm. Then he said, okay, just send me the patient and I will see what I can do with her. And she saw the patient only 2 times and the pain was gone. And I said, okay, what did I miss? You know, did I miss something in my diagnostic or in my evaluation and all that? And said, no, you didn't miss anything. Just look at the back. But the issue was her ankle, because she had a bad ankle sprain 2 years before. She was limping, and at the end, the back was just flaring up from this ankle not moving. She worked on the ankle, the knee, the hip, and the lower back was gone, because she removed the root cause of the problem. And it was my first understanding that everything works together and we can't be only symptomatic. You know, you really need to look at the root cause of the problem if you want to have a long-term relief. Mm-hmm. And I begin to do my osteopathy study, osteopathy study, move to Canada, and begin to work as an osteopath with better result than I had when I was just a physiotherapist. And slowly, with my own challenges, I begin to see that the mindset in my everyday life was something stopping me to grow and change and be the father I need to be for my kids and all that. And I worked a lot on my mindset. And when I see the value of the mindset, I say, why I'm not using that with my patient? Mm-hmm. And I begin to integrate mindset coaching during the session to really try to help them changing their everyday habits, understand what their limiting belief about health, because we have a lot of limiting belief about health. We think we can't do things, but have a can-do attitude is doing a huge difference for our clients. And I begin to implement the mindset in my everyday practice. And I'm always believe that everything's come by 3. And I said, okay, I have the mindset, I have the physical health with a global approach with osteopathy and what we do, but it was missing something. And I began to dig a little bit more about nutrition and more about, because we take care of people with chronic pain, acute pain, and all that, more about the inflammation than the nutrition can give you, depending what you do, what you eat, can make a huge difference in the inflammation level. And if you're still eating processed food or sugar, the physical therapist or anyone can do everything he wants, but the inflammation will be there because you don't do the right things about nutrition. And from that, I said, okay, that's really the pillar, the three pillar of the clinic is nutrition, mindset, and physical health.
So I just wanted to add to that when you're talking about the processed food and sugar, that basically processed food and sugar is like Satan to the body. It is so destructive and we don't realize it. It's something I never realized until just, a few years ago about how insidious some of these things are in our food, that we don't even realize it.
Yeah, no, when you go at the grocery store and you see it's full of calcium, they do some nice marketing on the cereal that kids take in the morning, but it's full of sugar. And do you really want to fuel your body? You can have the best engine ever on a car, but if you put bad fuel in the tank, nothing's going to happen. And the body is the same. You need to help your body. And because I worked with concussion and try to understand the connection between the brain, the gut, gut health, brain, all that together, what you eat can definitely change how your brain is working. And it's going to change how your body is working. And it's why as you said, it's insidious about what people think it's good for them. And at the end, it's really not good.
It's almost like it's false advertising. It just, puts lipstick on the pig, that, oh, no, this stuff is really good for you. And even the way they do their nutrition labels and stuff, it's very misleading.
Yeah, no, that's one of the issue. There isn't so many things hidden, they don't say everything. And I think people, if you can just change a little bit of your mindset, a little bit of nutrition, and a little bit of exercise, it's a compound interest. If you improve by 20% this and 20% this and 20% this, at the end, if you do a compound interest, is 70% of better, because I'm 1.2 dot 1.2 is 172. Then just doing a small shift can make a huge difference in the long run. And I think for me, the three pillars, nutrition, mindset, and exercise, are really the key to good health.
I love the way that you put that compounding interest, because it's absolutely correct. You don't have to make major changes in everything all at once, because that's overwhelming and people have a tendency to give up before they even make any progress. So just having those small steps and those three areas to work on is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and we always see the gym at the beginning of the year in January is full. Everyone say, okay, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to eat really healthy, I'm going to go for a run 3 times and at the end of January, the parking lot of the gym is empty, or just the normal people who have the habit to come here are just there, because it's too much. It's overwhelming. Changing too much things, you can't really do it. And I think it's really the way to just do a 2-millimeter shift is going to compound on the long run.
However, the gyms actually benefit from it because they got their year-long membership paid, so they don't care if you come or not.
Yeah, no. And, in the business model, when I was looking about the business model of gym, they make more money on the people who doesn't come than people who come.
Absolutely. And again, once again, the marketing there is brilliant, because everybody, I see it all the time. around New Year's. It drives me absolutely insane. All those billboards and the gym signs and, new year, new you. And it's like, well, I kind of like the I am. It's just a little crazy.
No, yeah, I think that's just think on the long run. It's we always, when the plane is leaving from Los Angeles to New York, it's not a straight line. It's going to be a little bit left, a little bit right, a little bit left, a little bit right. And it's just the 2 mm shift who is going to keep you on the track. And I think for health is the same. You don't need to change everything, just change few things. And where we really dig with our patient here is habits. How you can implement good habits and stop bad habits. And I read a book a few years ago called Atomic Habits, where he was talking about to change your habits, to have good habits, you need to stack this habit with something you already do. And when you want to remove a bad habit, you need to make that hard. And they did a study about pushing people to drink more water when they go to the cafeteria in a hospital. And the only place they put the liquor was deep in the corner, then you need to go there. But in every part of the cafeteria, there was place that people can take water. And from that, they increased the consumption of water by 30 to 40% and reduce the consumption of liquor by 30 or 40%, because it was harder to go to the liquor than it was easier to take the water. Then at the end, people just take the habit to take the water and avoid taking the liquor. Then it's helping, organize your everyday. If you don't want to eat sugar, keep your sugar deep in a cupboard with a key, for example. But if you want to eat fruits or things like that, put that on the middle of your countertop and make that accessible to take it. And for the hard habit, I think it's, just playing with habit can make a huge difference.
I love that idea, that concept of just making the bad stuff less accessible. And then once you do that, all of a sudden it loses its appeal eventually. You don't even crave some of those things. And I do want to go back to the analogy of the airplane, of the, shifting and stuff, just to also say that as you're going through the journey, you're going to encounter some turbulence along the way too. It's not going to be smooth sailing. So when you do have clients or patients that have those little bumps in the road, how do you coach them through that, or what kind of advice do you give them, especially if they're beating themselves up over it?
Failure is the best way to grow. If you don't learn from failure, there is two ways to see failure. Some people say, I crash, it's the end of the world, I'm done, and some others are going to say, okay, I fucked up on this one. Now, what did I learn from this? And don't beat yourself, or it's part of the game. You can't always eat healthy. Yes, you can take a chocolate bar or thing like that, but if you begin to do that too much or more often, we need to work on your habits or your human needs, because what you do, what you say, or what you eat can be a way to feed your human needs too. But when a patient is falling away, then he doesn't follow his exercise or thing like that, say, it's part of the game. You can't be at 100%. What did you learn from this failure? And why did you fall in that? And often there is something behind, some stress can come up. And we have online courses to help people to manage stress, because stress is part of the game too. And we have chiro, massage, and osteopath here in the clinic. Then we don't have the time to coach everyone but we have online programs to help them when they leave the clinic. Then they can have access to stress management, posture, nutrition, or all this, because we don't have the time to do it in one-on-one, but we try to give the best support we can to them when they are at home. And it's just, I think, stay there and be supportive and not blame them. Because if you blame them, it's worse. And if you just learn from your mistake, I think is the best way to get up and say, okay, you know, I didn't do good on this one, but this mistake doesn't define me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really people needs to understand
Making
when they miss something.
mistakes, and embracing them is just the best way toward personal growth.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to go back to the habits thing, because when people hear habits, they think, oh, I have these bad habits, terrible habits, nail biter, whatever, gum chewer. Just share with the audience what happens in the brain function when you start to shift your habits.
The fact that you need to understand that brain, the biggest fuel of the brain is sugar. And good sugar is better, but sugar. The brain is wired to do shortcuts. And habits for the brain is shortcuts. When you begin to understand that this thing is a bad habit, and this bad habit is feeding some human needs, and you can break this pattern, the system is going to rewire and create a new pathway to change your bad habit to the good habits. But you just need to be aware of what's going on. Mm-hmm. We do some exercise with our patient about human needs. I follow a lot Tony Robbins about that, and he's using the 6 human habits, and he say the 6 human needs, and he said when you when you feed 3 human needs with something you do, you begin to be addicted to. And we do exercise with our client about, okay, when you do that, which human needs do you feed? And we say, okay, you feed these 3 human needs. Now, it's a bad habit, it's a bad vehicle. How we are going to use another vehicle, a good one, to help you to change your bad habits with good behavior. Mm-hmm. And just the fact that people realize that what they were doing was bad habits, they begin to say, okay, it's not a good vehicle to feed these human needs, and I can use something else. And me, if I can talk about my story, I was, as I said, the mindset was for my own. The first shift in my mindset was to help me to be a better father to my kids. And I had a bad habit to just yell. I didn't know why, but my brain was going there. And when I was yelling, I had love and connection with my kids, because kids, I'm pretty tall and big. When I'm loud, people are looking at me, I have the certainty and I have the significance. And when I realized that this yelling was just a way to feed this need, I said, okay, what can I do as a father to feed these needs with my kids? And I decided to do date with my kids. I have two kids, and I'm a full-time father, single dad with them, And I decided to do date, just take time to go to the library or take a tea or coffee or anything, And from day one, I stopped yelling, because I rewire my brain to say, okay, yelling is a bad habit. Now I change the vehicle with a good vehicle, with date with my kids, and I'm not yelling anymore. And when I realized the power of changing your mindset about that, say, why I don't bring that to my patient? Why I not helping them on the mindset side? And now we know with the mind-body connection and the epigenetics, what you think is going to change how you code a certain type of protein in your cells, then, bringing mindset and habits for my patient was for me a good gift, because it was a good gift for me.
So my question now is, when you did that, how did that impact your relationship with your children?
Just over the moon, they have 16 and 18 now.
Wow.
And I have a crazy, I could even dream of a relationship like that with my kids.
Hmm. And what an incredible example and a gift you gave to them, not only just with the relationship with you and your children, but as an example of how to be a good person, a good parent, and have better relationships with other people.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I think that's I always want to teach to my kids that you can work on yourself and be better.
Hmm.
But I was teaching but not showing. Now I'm showing. Then
Hmm.
they can say, okay, my dad is doing it. I can do it.
Hmm. Do you think your children will go into a physiotherapy as well or osteopath?
No, my daughter wants to be a marine biologist.
Ooh.
Yeah. And my son, he wants to do business, but he said, I want to do business to impact people, to have a good impact on people.
Hmm.
And he's living in a month for 1 year in Europe
Hmm.
to travel around Europe. We are lucky we have the double citizenship. Then he can stay in France, and yeah, his mother is there, and we have family there, and he's going to Italy, France, Germany, Spain for a year to find him. And I think it's the best time to do it.
Hmm.
It's when you don't have any pressure on the back, then you can just say, you know what, let's do that and go for a trip for a year.
Hmm. Yeah, especially when you're young and just figure it out.
Yeah. And maybe we'll come back um, with another ID. But
Mhm.
the things is, you will be happy, I'm sure.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of backtrack and go back to the very first person that we talked about, the patient who had the sciatic pain, because I suffered with horrible sciatica for over 2.5 years. And this was before I was a physical therapist. And, I was a respiratory therapist at the time, so I was Western medicine trained and went to, I did everything that I was told to do by my physical therapists, by my physicians. I took all the medications. I did
Mm.
all the silly stretches and exercises that the PTs gave me, but I wasn't getting better. I just kept spiraling down. And I lived like that for 2.5 years until finally I was told by one of my doctors I would never be able to do my laundry and my grocery shopping all in the same day because the arthritis in my spine was so severe that I would end up being bedridden. And I just looked
Okay.
at her. I was 36. I looked at her and I said, "You don't understand. I'm planning on going back to ballet class." And she said, "No, no, you don't understand. You are a chronic pain patient. You will always be a chronic pain patient, and you will never have the life you had before and the life that you wanted." And then she told me to start applying for disability. So instead of accepting that, I went home and I did hit rock bottom for a couple of days. And then I finally, a few days later had this head smacking moment. It's like, wait a minute, it's up to you to figure this out. They're making you worse. So I actually took it on myself to figure out what was going on. Again, I did not know musculoskeletal. I didn't know any of that, but I knew quite a bit about movement. So I just taught myself how to move again and figured out what was exacerbating my pain, what was making it a little bit better. The only thing I added was acupuncture, and about 9 months later, I was pain free.
Yeah, no, I think the modern medicine is emergency medicine. They
Yes.
don't they look at the symptom and they try to give you the magic pills, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all. But I saw so many patients with lower back pain, but the
Mm-hmm.
pain is the lower back is just trying to compensate what the upper back doesn't do, or what the hip doesn't do, the knee or the ankle, and we just think about the lower back,
Mm-hmm.
but really it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
There is so many things under, and I think modern medicine on this has a lot of work to do
Mm-hmm.
because uh, because there is a missing part
Mm-hmm.
in the puzzle
Mm-hmm.
than just looking at this and not integrating the global. Because when you are the perfect example, you
Mm-hmm.
receive a message of failure, And what do you do with the failure? Are you going to say, okay, I'm going to be in disability and I will live my life in my coach? Or I'm going to fight back and grow and change things? And that's the mindset will change everything. You know, if you want to fight back, you will receive, okay, she say that, but I don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do things, you know, and you find some acupuncture. And as you said, and you were a ballet dancer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was not a professional, but I started dancing when I was 19 years old, which is really old, for ballet. And that was 31 years ago. So, I'm 67 now. So I still take ballet classes, not as often as I used to because I do my martial arts and I do, I'm a pole dancer too. I started pole dancing when I was 58.
Nice.
So, the point is, and that I really want the listeners to kind of embody this, is that we don't always have to accept the labels that people put on us. And if you're not happy with your physician's diagnosis or your physical therapist, you can always get another opinion. And the other thing that I really want to emphasize is that because you're having back pain, it might not be coming from your back. And as you
Yep.
said, the ankle, everything is connected. And, for the listeners, if you want to just start looking up some anatomy pictures online, you can see it. And when you can see just get a little idea of what your body looks like internally, that really gives you a lot of aha moments.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, the body is so interconnected and the visual and the mindset, you know, for years, I don't know if you know Dr. Hammer. He was a German physician in the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
And he developed the name is the New German Medicine. And this guy had testicle cancer in the 1970s, and he went to a specific center for that, met a lot of people, and he had a testicle cancer because he lost his son. And he realized that this type of psychological shock was creating this type of illness. And he talked with all the people there and realized that all the guy who was there had a psychological shutdown or something happened on the same way. And when he fight back the cancer, go back to his own practice and begin to take 10,000 files and say, okay, what type of psychological stress creating which type of illness? And at the end, he said the best answer of the brain to a stress is to create a illness.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did that in 1970s, everyone was saying he's a crazy guy. The illness is come from the outside, it's not from inside and all that. But now with the epigenetics and understood what you think can change what you create as a protein in your body,
Mm-hmm.
it's making sense. The mind-body connection with the epigenetics is making sense. And when a physician give a diagnostic to say, you are going to die for a cancer or thing like that, you can say, no, I will not die. I will fight back. And you are going to recover. And others are going to say, okay, I'm going to die. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know
it's
it's
exactly
so
the mindset.
powerful. Yeah, it's the power of the mind.
Yeah.
And I think that we're just realizing now, recently, in recent years, how powerful it is. When I was in physical therapy school and I graduated in 1996, so not that long ago, but it was a while back, we were told in all of our neurology classes that neuroplasticity actually disappeared at the age of 14. And, I know. And I was like, well, wait a minute, I might just be a stupid student, but I did spend almost 20 years as a respiratory therapist and I worked in a neurotrauma unit for a long time. So I would see, neurologically impacted patients make incredible recoveries when, they were saying, oh, they'll never get any better. So it was like, wait, this can't be right. And I thought, I think I won a little bit of a refund for those classes.
Did you ask for it?
No, because I figured they would just laugh in my face. So
But, you know, for example, what you eat is going to change the production of BDNF in your brain. And BDNF is one of big hormone which is going to create new pathway in your brain. And we can see that new pathway in your brain can be created at any age. And the study now show that neuroplasticity, and I did my physiotherapy thesis on a patient with a specific issue, and I was talking a lot about neuroplasticity. And this guy was the perfect example. He had 55 years old, and his brain rewired to help to change how he was using his hands. And he had a hunt accident, eating his hand was a really big mess. But neuroplasticity can be at any age. Mm-hmm. But again, what you think or what you eat and what you do is going to change everything about how your brain is going to work, you know? Mm-hmm. If you don't do anything, your brain is not creating new pathway to help you to move better, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly, if you think you can do it, you can do it.
So, Sylvain, have you ever heard of something called Feldenkrais?
I heard the name, yeah.
Okay, because that's basically the whole principle is on neuroplasticity and how to be able to change the way we sense, move, think, and feel, you know, during the entire course of our lifetime, not to disagree with my professors in PT school, but, you know, that we can do this during the entire course of our lifetime, and we do it through movement. I'm actually a Feldenkrais practitioner, and boy, it was a 4-year program. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And to realize how plastic our brain and our bodies really are. It's just amazing.
Yeah, no, it's the ability of the brain to create new connection. And we can learn all the time. And learning is show that your brain can still work.
Mm-hmm. So how can people, you know, how do you work with people online? Because I know you do have an online program.
Yeah, we do. At the clinic, we changed our way to work since a few months now. We do free evaluation because we want to be sure that we are going to be the right fit for them, and really tailor-made the programs using a chiro massage osteopath, you know, to really have the best program, and with the online side. Then we do that. And online is the same. We do a free evaluation. We are going to take time to evaluate the patient, see what is already did, where, you know, sometimes there is some missing part. The big advantage with the technology now, then we can evaluate the patients walking, moving directly on the webcam. Then from that, we can say, okay, your hip doesn't move correctly, your upper back, and we are going to give him specific exercise. As I said, habits is a big thing. Then we are going to help the patient to understand how to change his habit. We have specific online program for that. And on the nutrition side, we really focus on the inflammation side because, and we have specific meal plan for people who wants to change their nutrition side about inflammation. But we can connect with a nutritionist too, to have something really tailor-made to reduce the inflammation or do weight loss, or depending what they want to do. But the first thing is online evaluation, and it's free. You just book online, and it's often me doing it because I like the connection, and I'm the quarterback of the clinic. But it's really, just online. They can go on our website at mancusoclinic.com, book now, and they can book a free evaluation online.
It's a beautiful website. It's very comprehensive.
Thank you.
And so just share with us some of the, okay, because we've got the 3 pillars, just share with the listeners some of the other modalities that you do offer. Because it looked like you even have Reiki. Yeah. In the clinic.
We have shockwave, massage, chiro, osteo. We are looking. We do a thermography. It's a way to evaluate the superficial temperature of your body. Then is going to give us some information about where it's inflamed and where it's not moving enough. When we see a thermography picture, we can see that sometimes the lower back is red, 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 and the upper back is completely blue, green, no movement, no circulation. And we say, okay, you can see that your upper back doesn't do the job. Then at the end, your lower back is working too much. And we help the patient to understand that. And it's often helping the patient to say, oh, okay, I know why you work on my upper back now.
That is an incredibly powerful visual for a patient to be able to see that.
Yeah. We use a AI system really new on the market, and its ability to evaluate the patient really fast. And we just do the picture, and from that we can explain to the patient, okay, look at that, and it's helping the patient to catch it. It's okay, I need to change that.
Okay, so I did want a little bit more information about the shockwave because it's like that sounds a little shocking. What is the shockwave and how do you use
shockwave?
that?
It's like an impact. It's a massage gun a little bit stronger.
Okay.
And it's really helping one to improve the circulation around the area we work. And at the same time, it's really helping because when you look at the global mobility, you know that the global mobility, it's small movement, opening, sliding, gliding, and all that. Then at the end, your spine is going to move correctly. But if you have some blockage in this small movement, the global movement will not be good, or you are going to ask to another part of the body to do the job. And it's really helping for us to work on really specific mobility, to release some tension and scar tissue to help the global mobility of the system. But it's like an impact gun, and it's really, really precise.
So how long have you been in practice? I mean, when did you open your clinic? How long has your clinic been?
I moved in Canada in 2011. I was a physiotherapist, osteopath in France since 2001. And we really changed our practice in the past year now to really integrate everything. It's really a path slowly that I understand more and more things. Okay, now I have the recipe for my patients that I can blend together and help patients to feel better.
What are your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself in maybe 10 years from now?
We are going to open a new facility here in Moncton, where we are going to integrate metabolic training, Pilates, gym, personal trainer, and all what we already do in the same facility. Because for me, Pilates is the perfect example of mobility and control. You can be really flexible, but if you have no strength, it's not going to go anywhere. And if you are too strong and no flexibility, it's going to nowhere. That it's really the melting pot. Then we are going to open a new facility on that. And at the same time, to support our clinics, we have a specific platform. Then we are going to help other clinics to do the same things, because clinics often has limited time and limited knowledge, and we are going to bring the knowledge of other experts that the clinic can leverage to help their client with nutrition, mindset, exercise, and all that. Then at the end, because my goal at the beginning when I start this platform was, how can I keep my team in their genius zone? And the genius zone of my team is therapy. And I don't want them to lose too much time about the mindset, about the nutrition and all that, because it's not really the genius zone and we don't have too much time. We have 30 minutes, 1 hour, but it can be sometimes intense. Then you don't have the time to give all this explanation. And I was looking to find a way to support my team and at the same time support my patients. Because when they leave, I think what's happening after the session is even more important than what's happening during the session.
Absolutely.
And this platform is helping our patient. And now we want to help other clinics to do the same things. So, okay, you have this type of patient. That's the program you can use to support your patient to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
that's the next step.
when I opened up my practice, my private practice, I had already been in the physical therapy, traditional world for 2.5 years, and I couldn't stand it. And then I had another one of those mental head smacking moments. I had been studying Pilates since 1983, just for my own well-being and health. And then after I finished PT school, I actually did 2 professional training programs for Pilates. And it was like, oh my gosh, I can go out on my own and do this. So that's what my practice was. I specialized in Pilates-based rehab and conditioning, and then later added
Nice.
Feldenkrais to it. And it
Nice.
was wonderful.
Nice.
It was great.
Yeah, no, I think it's a, complement. You can do everything in therapy, but if you don't support your patient with, and learning Pilates for me, it's one of the best things you can do because it's really the melting pot between strength and flexibility. And it's the best way to support your patient because many exercise can be done with only body weight. Then, you just need a mat and do your thing. Then you can integrate that in your everyday habits at home, Then when you learn that, it's easy to keep you healthy because the job we do as you physical therapist, we want to help people to feel better and don't come to see us back.
Right.
Right,
exactly.
But we need to give them the tools to stay healthy. And nutrition, exercise, mindset, and what we do during session is the best. What we do during session, they can't do it again. But all the support that we can give to our patient to be sure they are going to stay healthy is the best things we can do.
That's basically one of the tools that I used to heal my own back. Was I had enough Pilates under my belt by that time, so I knew the mat exercises. So I would take a mat exercise and I would kind of like dissect it into little pieces and do bits and pieces of it, and then feel how it impacted, my pain, if it made it worse, if it made it better. And that's basically what I did. I mean, I wasn't a PT, I wasn't a Pilates expert or an instructor at the time, but it was just that awareness and paying attention to the movement.
Yeah, no, and 80% of the job is to be aware.
Yeah.
When you be aware of what's going on and how you move not in the right way, you already begin to heal you. And I think teach to people to be more aware about their mobility and their way to move and do things every day. It's the best gift you can give to your patient.
And it's so empowering for them.
Yeah, it's active recovery. They are part of the recovery. Yeah.
Right. So they're, an active participant instead of a passive,
lie down on the table and wait, and someone is going to do something magic,
And to know that you have the tools to be able to do that on your own at home is incredibly, like I said, empowering. And, it's just, again, like you said, you're giving people a gift.
Yeah.
So, Sylvain, where can people find you on social media? Once again, go ahead and give us your website link, and then how can they connect with you?
Our website link is mancusoclinic.com, MANCUSOCLINIC.com. Mancuso Clinic on Instagram, Mancuso_clinic on Instagram, and Mancuso Clinic on Facebook.
You're also on LinkedIn, right? Because we connected.
Yeah. We have a page, but we don't use too much, or we do a little bit on LinkedIn, but not too much.
Yeah, you got to stick with the ones that really you connect with.
Yeah, stick with your audience, where my audience is. It's more Instagram, Facebook,
Exactly. Well, Sylvain, it has been an absolute honor to have you on the show and a pleasure to talk to you. But before we wrap up and sign off, do you have one last pearl of wisdom or one little tidbit you want to leave with the listeners?
The limitation is the mind. You can do everything. Have a can-do attitude will make everything possible. And not the only people who is going to define you, it's yourself. It's not someone else, a physician or a friend, or just you with you. That's the best way to define yourself.
Perfect. Well, once again, Sylvain, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cheryl, to invite me.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Okay, you got some really wonderful tips, great information. Do go to Sylvain's website if you want an evaluation, contact him. And remember, I love that about the mindset, because when you change your mindset, you can change your life. And that is the way of the Femme Ninja.